Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I'm going to be making this card holder, if you will. You can call it a wallet. It's really cool, really easy, and yeah, it should be a nice project for beginners. Okay, things you will need: a pair of scissors, a darning weaving tapestry needle, some yarn. This is a specific yarn. I'll leave a link to this. It's a thicker yarn, which I think is good to use when you're making wallets like this, or card holders, whatever you want to call it. And then the size hook, I'm going to be using an eye. Yeah, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start out by making a slip knot. So wrap it around your finger, twist, exchange, wrap it around your finger like that, pull that one over that one off your finger, like that, while pulling up on the one that's still on your finger. Insert your crochet hook. Once again, this is size I USA, 5.5 millimeters, into the loop and pull to tighten. Now we're going to chain 15. 1, 14, and 15. Okay? So this is going to be our width. And now we're going to put a single crochet into every chain across except for this very first one. So we're going to work our first single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here's the hook. That's the first chain from the hook. This is the second chain from the hook. That's where we're going to insert our crochet hook. With the single crochet, we do not yarn over first. We just enter the stitch, enter the chain. Now we yarn over, pull through to the front. We have 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, and that's it. Now we move to the next chain, which is there. Insert, yarn over, pull through to the front, like that. We have 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. If you're ever wondering what's the next chain, just pull up on the current stitch and see where it is. It's in that chain, so this loop right there corresponds to the next chain. Enter it, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, like that, go through 2, 1, 2. Next one, enter, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Continue putting 1 single crochet in every chain across, and I'll meet you at the last chain. See you there. Alright, so we are at our last chain, which we're going to put a single crochet into. So insert your crochet hook, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Alright, now we're going to repeat that, and we're going to repeat it for 21 more rows. So you're going to do this right here. Chain 1, like that, turn your work, and into that same place where that chain 1 is coming out of, in that same stitch, the very first stitch, which corresponds to the last stitch of the previous row, that's where we're going to enter. And we're going to put a single crochet. So slice the icing off the top of the cake like that. You should see a little heart looking top. Okay, now yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, shocker, not really, because we're making a single crochet, yarn over and go through 2. Next stitch, right there, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. And once again, just put 1 single crochet into every single crochet across. Okay, slice the icing off the top of the cake, yarn over, pull through to the front, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, you will put 1 single crochet in every stitch across. Don't try to get into that last chain that's on the end that was left by crocheting into the second chain from the hook. Only crochet into single crochets. So when you get here, you just put a single crochet into that final single crochet there, and then you'll start row 3. Alright, do this once again for 21 more rows, so you should have a total of 22 rows, and then I will meet you there. So just to show you on camera, we are at that final single crochet on the end. There's that 1 chain that was left, but here's the final single crochet, and there's the top. So we'll crochet into that, slicing the icing, making sure you're getting both loops creating the heart shape, right? Okay, now yarn over, pull through without losing everything, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2, like that. As I said, there's one chain there, but don't try to get into that. That's why we crocheted into the actual very first stitch of this row, so we wouldn't have to worry about that chain, and it'll stay nice and square. Chain 1 and repeat. In that very first stitch, make your single crochet like that. Next one, like that. Okay, continue doing that, and I'll meet you after 22 rows. Alright, so I have completed my 22 rows of single crochet, and before moving on, I just want to show you, it can be kind of difficult to accurately identify the rows when you're working with such a short or small stitch. But basically, here is the first row right there, and then if you jump up just a little bit, so you'll see this horizontal loop that's going across. If you go just across that, that's the next row. Okay, so row 1, row 2, then right there is the next one, and then there's that horizontal loop again, cross that, that's row 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. Okay, alright, so now what we do in these next few rows, which will be the next 9 rows, okay, you're going to do it just like we're doing this one. So for the next 9 rows, you'll do exactly what we're about to do. So for the next 9 rows, we're going to do this. We're going to chain 1. You are going to turn your work, and in that very first stitch, just like before, we're going to put a single crochet. Okay? And then in the next stitch, you're going to also put a single crochet, like that. Okay? Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip a stitch, so we'll skip that one, which is there, and go into the next one and put a single crochet in there. And then in the next stitch, we'll put a single crochet. Now that we've made 2 consecutive single crochet, we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and go to the next one and put a single crochet. In the next stitch, we'll put a single crochet. Now that we have 2 consecutive single crochet, we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and in the next stitch, put a single crochet. And in the next one, a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, skip 1, and in the next 2, the final 2 stitches, we're going to put 1 single crochet. 1, and in the final one, make sure you get 2 loops on the end with that last stitch. It can be kind of tricky to get to, but make sure you get 2 and make the single crochet. Okay? So you can't really see it because it's such a small stitch, but there are 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So we're going to do that for 8 more rows. I'll start you with the next one. Chain 1, turn your work. In the same stitch, put a single crochet. In the next stitch, put a single crochet. Chain 1. Skip that chain 1 space that's there, and put a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So you're going to basically do what you see is happening in the previous row. Okay? In the previous row, we see that there's a chain 1 space there, so we'll create a chain 1 space by chaining 1, skipping over the space, and then following it up with 2 single crochets, 1 in the next 2. Chain 1, skip 1, skip the chain 1 space and put 2 single crochets, 1 in the next 2. 1, 2. Okay. Chain 1, skip the final chain 1 space there, and in these last 2, put a single crochet. 1, and then in that final one, remember, don't forget to get the 2 loops, so to get the top, the complete top of that final single crochet, we put our single crochet. Okay. Alright, so I want you to continue doing this. This is 2 rows, so you need to do it for 7 more rows, and I will meet you there. Alright, so now that I have completed my 9 rows of that, I'm going to do 2 more rows of just 1 single crochet in every stitch. In this case, in every stitch, or chain 1 space. Now you might be wondering, why did you start to create those gaps if you can't really see them? Well, you'll notice that the texture is different, right? We have that, and then once we started to include the spaces, even though you can't really see the holes, the texture is different. It changed things up, so that was the purpose. Also, a little trick to figure out how many rows that you've crocheted is to find the gaps and just count the gaps. So 1, 2, 3, which corresponds to 3 rows of that pattern. Here's another gap, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. Okay, so there's a little trick. Alright, so chain 1, turn your work, and then just put 1 single crochet into every stitch across. My tension is so tight, but you guys already know that's how I roll. That's how I crochet. And then in this chain 1 space there, just go in there into the space and make a single crochet, and then just continue across like that. Complete this row, do a second row, and I'll meet you there. Alright, I've crocheted my 2 rows of single crochet, okay, and now I'm going to crochet along this edge, and then back around there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 1 single crochet at the end of every row. So I completed my final single crochet in that final single crochet below, so I'm just going to go in between the final stitch and the penultimate stitch and make a single crochet like that. Okay, and now that one counts for that row. This is the next row right there, so I'll go in there and just put a single crochet. Okay, and then the next one, put a single crochet. Okay, find the next row and just add a single crochet on the edge. So that's that row. This is the next row. I'll put a single crochet. Continue doing that next row. Next. 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 So we've reached the first corner, okay? And you'll notice that that's where the tail is from where we started this project. So in here we'll just go into these chains, and I'm going to crochet over the tail, still putting single crochets. So here's the first chain. I'll lay the tail on top like that, yarn over and just crochet over it. Okay, and I'll just go in each chain across, making sure that I crochet over the tail. Okay, so keep this. If you want, you don't have to split the chain. You can just crochet over the whole chain. That might make it a little bit easier for you. Okay, so it'll be like that. Crocheting over the tail so you don't have to weave it in later. Just make sure that you have 14 single crochets on this edge, okay? And you should have 33 single crochets on the longer edge because you crocheted a total of 33 rows. Alright, I'll see you once we get back over here. Now, having crocheted across the shorter edge, I have 14 single crochets. So I'm going to turn my work, and now I'm just going to commence to putting 1 single crochet at the end of every row. So in there, you might be thinking, where's the next row? We'll follow it across. That's the row that for that single crochet, so I need 1 for this one. So follow the row across and just go in there and make your single crochet. Okay, here's the next row, so I need to go follow it across and go in there and put a single crochet. Okay, make sure you have the same number of single crochets on this edge as you have on this edge because we're going to connect them. See you soon. Alright, so as you can see, I've made it around. I have 33 single crochets here, 14 here, 33 there, and I'm back around. Okay, so now what I want you to do is to chain 1, cut this yarn, and pull. fasten off. Okay. Now, right now we're looking at the outside, so what I want you to do is to flip it over, and you can clearly see where we started the pattern. So you can cut this down, by the way, or you can leave it. Well, I'll cut it down just to show you. Okay. Alright, so you see where it's just solid. We're going to fold that in half like that. So from solid to solid. And this is where the pattern starts down there. So we'll fold it in half like that. Okay. And then the pattern, where the pattern starts, that's going to be the third fold. Well, it's technically the second fold, but this will be the front of the wallet. Okay. See how it has a nice pattern on the front, and then the back it looks like that. Okay. So to get this to stay like this, we're going to slip stitch these sides. Okay, so we'll slip stitch this side, and then we'll slip stitch this side together so it'll be connected, and then you'll have this flap. Alright, so let's do that. So we'll take our yarn, start by making a slip knot. Same thing we did at the beginning of the video, and then we'll pull to tighten. Okay. Now, with this, so here's the wallet, here's the front of the flap. Okay. So open that, turn it like this. So I'm looking at it like this. Alright, now I am going to go into the first side, or first single crochet that's meant for the side, and just enter. Actually, it'd be easier to take that off. Enter the stitch, slice the icing off the top of the cake. It might be tight if you have a tight tension like I do, but try to get through both loops. Don't try, do get through both loops, and then find the corresponding stitch on the other side. So we folded it, right? So go straight across, find the corresponding stitch, the first row there that doesn't have any gaps, okay, and that corresponds to that stitch. Now we can hook on our slip knot that we made, right, and pull it through to the front like that, and just pull back there like that. And now we're going to slip stitch. So in the next single crochet, we'll slice the icing, and in the corresponding one across, we'll slice the icing, yarn over, and pull all the way through, creating a slip stitch. Okay, next one there, find the corresponding one there, yarn over, pull all the way through like that. Next one, slice the icing there, find the corresponding one on the other side, slice the icing, yarn over, pull all the way through. Next one is there, slice the icing, find the corresponding one on the other one, slice the icing. We're looking at the tops of the stitches, right? Yarn over, pull all the way through. And it's creating this very nice pattern there, like that. Okay, so continue doing that, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so we're almost at the end. I'm just going to go in that corner and make a slip stitch. Alright, so at this point you could cut your yarn, right? And then start again up here and go down. And start again up here and go down. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do something different and unexpected and just continue slip stitching across. Okay? So the next one, I'll go in there just at the bottom like that and slip stitch. And make this one looser so that it kind of curves around like that. So now the slip stitch that looks like a chain is headed that way, and I'm just going to go across. And you don't lose too much depth by slip stitching there, but I think it'll be cleaner, it'll provide a nice design, and you don't have to worry about starting another slip knot up here to go down. Okay, so we'll continue making slip stitches across this way, and I'll meet you once we get to this corner. Alright, just to make sure that you guys can see, I'm just entering like that and slip stitching. So enter from this side, come out in the hole there on the other side. So enter from this side, come out on the hole that's right on the other side, yarn over and slip stitch. Alright, now I'm at the corner, so this is the one where I make kind of loose so that it bends around. So I'll make a slightly bigger loop and just go right in the corner like that. You see that? Okay, yarn over. Alright, and now it starts to curve, just like it curved there. And now I just line up the stitches on each flap and stitch through them like I've been doing. Okay, so that one corresponds to that one. Yarn over, pull all the way through. Alright, I will meet you there. Alright, I'm almost at the top, so thought I'd pop back on, show you my last slip stitch. I just want to make sure I went up to the same height, right, as I did on the other side, and it looks like I have. So I'm going to yarn over, or chain one, basically cut my yarn, fasten off. Alright, now we can weave in some tails. So just grab your darning weaving tapestry needle, feed the yarn through. This yarn is pretty easy to split, so be careful. Alright, and then just go through some stitches, like so. One direction, not distorting your work, and then back in the other direction. Pulling it across, okay? And then you can cut that down, and you'll do the same thing with this one, okay? After you've gotten your tails in, you fold it over, and you'll have this nice wallet. So let me clean this up a bit, and I'll see you shortly. Alright, so that's a little bit better. If you have any like straggler tails, you can just cut them down with some scissors. Be careful not to cut your actual work. And then, yeah, just put your cards in there, close it. It has this nice front with that design, and then the solid pattern on the back, and there you have it. So very easy to make. Let me know if you want me to show you how to add a way to fasten this so it stays shut, although, you know, this is sufficient. Okay. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video, but I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting!